are back. It's time for another edition of the Carolina Insider Rapid Reactions Edition. And what a fun show we have coming up, because it was a terrific afternoon and stretched into the evening. This was a long one. In the Smith Center, I'm Jones Angell. That's Adam Lucas. You're going to hear from Walker Kessler and Roy Williams coming up soon. CB McGrath is going to join us as well, all talking about a 78-70 come-from-behind victory, Carolina over Florida State. Adam, it felt like such a fun day in the Smith Center for a couple reasons. One, fans were back, 3,000 socially distanced fans in the Smith Center, and they made a difference in this game. It just felt like an ACC game, I think, for the first time all year. Two, of course, the Tar Heels were down 16 late in the first half, turned that around, ended up winning by 8. And 3, Coach Williams picks up his 900th win. He becomes just the 4th Division I coach to do it. He did it faster in terms of games and in terms of seasons than anybody else. So terrific afternoon in Chapel Hill, and a big win for this current version of Carolina basketball.
At halftime, I thought maybe Jones could just come do this show by himself, and I would just head to the house, because that wasn't a very fun first 20 minutes. Carolina turned it over too much. But then, boy, what a change at halftime. Some motivational words from a few Tar Heel staff members just really turned things around, plus the energy of Walker Kessler there leading the charge in the second half. It's going to be interesting to see what gets more attention, the win for the team or the 900th win for Coach Williams. I think it's bigger for the team. Coach Williams was going to get 900 wins, and hopefully he'll get 901 on Monday night and proceed on. This team really needed that big win. We've talked about the net ranking on here. That's a quadrant 1 win, Jones, which Carolina needed.
All right, we are going to get to Adam's rapid reactions here in just a second. A reminder again, CB McGrath coming up, breaking down some big plays. You're going to hear from Walker Kessler and also Roy Williams. But he's got his grease board. He's been looking at the steam coming out of his ears, trying to figure out the 3 most important things that happened in this game. They are our rapid reactions. And Adam, we start with, really, where else are you going to start? Walker Kessler, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks, and a steal for the freshman. It is the 4th consecutive game that he has been in double figures, but the last 3 had all been 10 points in each of the last 3 games. Comes through with 20, and particularly in the stretch at the last couple minutes of the first half and the first few minutes of the second half, which Kessler started, he was really the catalyst that got Carolina back moving in the right direction.
Kessler is a very humble individual, and he sort of downplayed his scoring in the postgame press conference when he said, well, so many of my shots came right at the rim. Well, yeah, but you had to get yourself in position to get the ball close to the rim. You had to run the court. You had to make yourself available, and that's what he did consistently. Another thing I thought he did really well, Jones, have a defensive impact. He had those 4 blocks, but he affected more shots than that. Second half, Florida State shoots just 9 for 27 on 2-point baskets. And a big part of that was Walker Kessler's presence in the middle.
And, Adam, I can't remember what game it was that Carolina played earlier this season. I think it was Virginia, where the Tar Heels had a lot of shots at the rim, and there was an ugly stat afterwards about how many layups were missed. I'm going to guess Florida State would have something similar in that second half, and I think a big part was Kessler, not just the blocks, but altering so many shots as well.
Florida State had a couple quick turnovers to start the second half, and Kessler didn't get credit for steals on those plays, but he was in the mix, and him being there forced Florida State to make some passes either they didn't want to make or more quickly than they wanted to, and that's the kind of impact he had on the game. Big defensive presence.
Certainly a terrific game for the freshman. Adam's going to talk to him coming up in just a little bit. But, Adam, he was not the only Tar Heel that had a big part of this win, and everybody loves to look at Leaky Black's scoring to see, what did he do from the wing? How did he shoot? And today, not a huge day shooting, 1 for 5, but 6 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and he was another one of those catalysts in the second half. He seemed to just be around stuff when it was going right for Carolina.
He was in when things were going right, and he's not the key player of the game. He's not going to get interviewed on the Carolina Insider postgame show, which is the highest honor you can receive. But he was able to move the ball to where it needed to be. That was a great cross-court look to Kerwin Walton. Head up, pushing the ball down the court. Look at that pass to Walker Kessler, the no-look. That was almost, Jones, Kendall Marshall-esque.
Yeah, that was a great one there. And good to see Leakey have some success because he has had a bit of a rough patch here over the last couple of games. And for him to have a big impact was good to see. And Adam, final point on our rapid reaction section here. We're actually going to do one individual play. So the Tar Heels were up 3 in the second half, but turned it over. Caleb Love just kind of lost the basketball up at the top of the key, actually closer really to the center jump circle, just mishandled his dribble. It looked like it was going to be a run out for Scotty Barnes and Florida State. In fact, Barnes thought so because he stared at Caleb Love and made sure that he knew he was about to dunk it. But Love instead didn't give up on the play, blocked the dunk. Carolina eventually gets a dunk on the other side by Baycott. So it was a 3-point game, could have gone to 1, ended up going to 5. That effort by Love felt important.
I love this play. I could watch this play over and over, and we're about to. That's the turnover, too casual. Caleb Love had 6 of them on the day, so not a great day. But you can give up on that play if you're Caleb Love. You can get frustrated and turn it over and pout at midcourt and watch Scotty Barnes go in and dunk it because Scotty Barnes, as Jones said, wanted to make sure Caleb Love knew he was about to dunk it. But he didn't give up. Went down, got the clean block. Carolina goes down, gets a basket. That was a huge 4-point swing.
Other side, it was R.J. Davis, by the way, who penetrated in, dished to Baycott for a dunk. That was the basket on the other side that stretched the lead back out to 5 for Carolina. So in total, Tar Heels outscore Florida State 49-29 in the second half and win it 78-70. All right, we're going to get to Coach Williams and his post-game press conference. Adam is going to talk to Walker Kessler as well. Then we're going to return, bring C.B. McGrath in. He's going to break down a couple of key moments from this exciting Carolina victory. All coming up. Thanks for being here on the Carolina Insider.
But first half, we were about as ugly as we could be, 25% from the floor, 14% from three-point line, turned it over a million times. And I told the team if we'd go out in the second half and get a score, we had the ball to start the half, let's score and get one stop, and then score again and get one more stop, we'd be right back in the game. And I really felt that way. I thought that the little push we made at the end of the first half was big to get it to 10, and I was ticked off that we gave up that basket at the end of the half to make it 12. But I thought those guys that were in the game at that point gave us a lift. And so we did. We got 2 scores and got 2 stops, and then they had a couple more turnovers, and so we got more than the 2 stops, and we kept scoring. Walker Kessler was the one big guy that I thought was positive in the first half. So we started him in the second half, and I thought he was sensational. I think I was really, really discouraged at half because we only had 2 assists. We ended up having 9 in the second half, so it was 9 out of 16 baskets. That's the way we're supposed to play. But the first half, their pressure was so big on us that we stood. RJ and Caleb, our 2-point guards, had 0 assists. They kept dribbling the ball sideways, east and west. But I think Walker was huge for us, to say the least. Caleb was much more effective putting the ball in the basket in the second half, 6 for 6 from the foul line. Kerwin 4 for 4 from the foul line. 14 out of 14 from the foul line in the second half. But I just think defensively we were a lot better in the second half, and then I think also they turned it over, and that helped us. But I think making the free throws, and we got fortunate too because at Florida State they make 26 out of 27, and today they missed some key free throws in the second half that helped us.
Roy, how much can a win like this serve as a springboard, especially coming off of the performance against Marquette?
CL, I don't know. I mean, think about it, guys. God almighty, I would have thought last week's game against Louisville would have been a springboard too, and the daggum diving board broke, and everybody fell in the pond. But I think the guys appreciate how hard they had to work on the defensive end in the second half, and I think how going to the free throw line and making the free throws are things that they're going to remember as well. So I'm hopeful, but yeah, we've got 4 or 5 hours to enjoy this, and then tomorrow we got quick practice and get on the plane and go to Syracuse. The schedule's been a difficult schedule for us, and this turnaround quick like this has been something that I've seen coming down the road, but they'll enjoy this until about midnight tonight.
Roy, I know you want to win every game you play, but given the way the first half had gone with just all the problems in it, you know, you're playing the best team in the league probably, and it seems like you're just kind of drowning in things. To be able to turn it against that team and to do what you did in the second half is I guess, is there an extra satisfaction just the way you won this and the way you went about getting out of what you had dug yourself into?
Adam, it could be. I don't think too much in those terms, but I do know that in the first half, I thought they were 3 calls that I didn't really like, and all of a sudden my team is complaining on every call. And my gosh, I look at the video board, it was an illegal screen that Amato caught. Dayron did hook the guy. And so I had to get on him about those kind of things. But that, I think, in the second half, we just played. You can't control what the other team does to some degree. You can't control what the officials do. So you got to play. But I thought that we showed our immaturity in the first half, blaming everybody else instead of being accountable. And, I was sure that some of them were wrong. Maybe the tape's going to show me, but that I told the officials, hey, you guys, even though I disagreed with 3 of them, I thought they were all 3 wrong. I made 33 mistakes. My team made 33 mistakes, so they weren't nearly as bad as I was in the first half. But I do think we showed some immaturity in the first half and showed some maturity in the second half.
Congrats on the win. Congrats on 900. So for a team that's as young as yours, they sort of came out sluggish in the first half, playing in front of fans for the first time in the Smith Center. What were some of the adjustments you think they made in the second half, and how do you think the fans impacted the game?
I don't think we came out sluggish because the crowd was there. I think we came out sluggish because Florida State hit us right in the mouth, and we backed up. We didn't handle the fire. We didn't face up to the fire. We got more timid and started, as I said, trying to blame other reasons instead of taking responsibility. I tell you, it was 3,200 or 3,400, whatever it was. It was the best 3,200 crowd I've ever seen in my life, or 3,400. I can't explain to them enough how much a better atmosphere it was. I can't explain to them enough about how helpful it was. And I've never lost a game because of the crowd. But today they helped us win this game because they didn't give up. And I think that I was thrilled for them. I'd be thrilled if we'd get back to a more normal place in our world. I hope we don't start opening things up too quickly and start seeing those spikes come back up with the new variants around. And I watch it every day, guys, every day. I got more knowledge than probably on this stuff than all you guys in front of me there. But the crowd was sensational. It was fun being back in that environment. I didn't even care one time. I was yelling out what play I wanted them to run, and they couldn't hear because the crowd was so loud, and that was a neat deal. But I love our fans and have for 18 years, but this one will go back in my mind to be a game that I'll remember for a long, long time.
Jacob Turner, go ahead.
Hey, Roy, I know you're not big about, talking about personal accomplishments and whatnot, but I got to ask, what does it kind of mean to you to pick up your 900th career win today, and just what was that experience like for you?
Guys, I've said it before. I'll look back on it one of these days and say, hey, that was pretty neat. But I was focused on one thing, trying to help this team get to 15. And we laid a bad egg a couple of days ago, and I wanted to bounce back desperately. I told them I wanted them to have that desperately focused attitude that I'll have. It's neat, and I appreciate all the players that have ever been involved in those things, my assistant coaches. I've had the staff. For 33 years, I felt like I've had the best coaching staff in the world, and I believe that every day. But it was nice, but I wanted to get them into the locker room so we could act like a fool. And Steve Robinson and Steve Kirshner, and I really didn't want to do anything, but it was nice. And like I said the other day, though, 69 is not a round number, but I appreciated shooting 69 more than I did 70. And if I had dropped dead walking out before the game today, I would have still had 899. That's not that far from 900, so it's okay.
Who do you think we're talking to after Carolina's big win over Florida State? The man who everyone was chanting his name. Walker, I see on your Roy Williams 900th win T-shirt, got a little water on there. What was that post-game atmosphere like in the Carolina locker room?
It's actually sweat. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was fun. Going in at halftime, down by I think 12. We were just kind of like, we gotta get going. And Coach gave us a really good motivation speech, and Coach Hubert Davis is an unbelievable motivational speaker. So we just went out and played, and then after the game buzzed off, I was really excited. The whole team was excited, and we went in there, and everyone kind of doused me with water. think Coach did his little dance. I'm sure y'all will see that. But I mean, there's nothing like it.
You mentioned Coach Davis had a great motivational speech. What did he say?
Honestly, I can't tell you. Can't really remember it right now, but I remember I was motivated.
What did Coach Williams tell you when he made the switch and put you in the group that started the second half?
He just said, "Walker, you're in." I said, "Yes, sir." And I was ready to go.
You finished with 20 points and 8 rebounds, a huge stretch there at the very start of the second half, just 4 or 5 minutes of nothing but energy and points and steals and blocks. What were you able to do that was able to key that surge as Carolina came back?
Just play hard. That's kind of what I've always said. I just think, if you can't control anything else, just play hard.
You were playing hard early in the season too, but sometimes it looked like you weren't always completely sure of what you were supposed to be doing. What's the difference in playing hard now versus playing hard in November and December?
I would say more comfort, just, getting used to the pace of the game. And I would say, I would just say probably comfort. I mean, it's pretty much it.
Florida State's so deep and athletic and talented, and they did a really good job of preventing Tar Heel baskets in the paint in the first half. What were you able to do differently in the second half to score a little closer to the basket?
I just think our guards just passed the ball very well in the second half, and I think we just moved the ball better in the second half. I know we had double-digit turnovers in the first half. I can't remember if it was 12 or something like that. But, we just came out, played better as a team. So it wasn't really anything I did. It was just the team around me just did a great job.
It was 14 turnovers in the first half,
but
that's ancient history now. Nobody cares.
Yeah, that's true.
You've been a Carolina basketball player for half a year now, and that's the first time you've gotten to play in the Smith Center with fans in there. What difference did that make?
I mean, there wasn't even – it's crazy to think that, it could get that loud with, not even, 3,000 tonight, and there's 21,000 capacity. It's like a seventh. That boggles my mind. It was a blast. I mean, we couldn't have done it without the fans. For me personally and the team and the coaching staff, just thanks to all the fans that came out.
When did you first notice them? When did you first hear them and realize, this is different?
Shoot, hour and a half before the game and shoot around. You just see they start taking the cardboard cutouts out and, kind of, what's going on? And people start filing in. And then when we came out the first time for our warm-ups, that was when it was like wow. I don't know. I'm still kind of speechless about it. I mean, it was a blast.
Could you hear them chanting your name in the second half?
Yeah.
What's that like?
It was cool. It was really cool. I don't really have any other words other than that. Yeah, it was really cool.
He doesn't have any words for that, but he doesn't have to because he just scored 20 points and got 8 rebounds in Carolina's best win of the year. Walker, congratulations and great job.
Appreciate it.
Great stuff from Coach Williams. Great stuff from Walker Kessler. Happy day in the Smith Center. You know why else it's a happy day? CB McGrath's here to give us an insider breakdown.
Hi, thanks, Jones. Obviously a great day in the Smith Center. I lost my voice for the first time in a long time. I don't know if it's because the 3,200 fans were so excited to be there, or I was just so angry at the officials, happy with the team. I don't know what it was, but I did lose my voice. There was a lot of great plays, and Carolina fans are used to, I guess, consistency over the years. And when Tyler Hansbrough played, you knew he was going to show up. This year's team, sometimes you don't know who's going to show up, but that sort of makes it fun. And Walker Kessler made it really fun today because he did show up, but so did the other freshmen, so did everybody else on the team. Very different from the Marquette game, obviously, where they had an uninspired effort. Today, everybody was very inspired. So this first play I'm showing, and I'm not calling the refs out or anything, but this was a big play. So the score was 18-14. 8.5 left in the first half. So it's hard to see. Here's the official. He's looking straight ahead. When they show the replay, this guy's heel is on this arc, all right? If that's the case, it has to be an automatic block if he doesn't leave his feet. If he goes straight up vertical, it can't be a charge, but it can't be a block. So Armando ends up making the shot, but they call an offensive foul. So instead of maybe an and one, which today, it probably wasn't an and one. Our free throw shooting was terrific. But instead of it being 18-17, they get the ball. 3 minutes later, with 5.5 minutes to go, it was like 28-16. So it's a huge play with, you got 1, 2, 3 freshmen and a sophomore. Sometimes those calls hurt you. Sometimes they help you. You never know. But that was, I thought, a big play in the first half where it went south. And then late in the first half, we got back in it and cut it to 12. I mean, I know it sounds crazy to be happy to cut it to 12 at half, but it was a big for us. Oh, I need to clear it. And obviously they were excited, and it was big for them. Now, this was in the second half when it turned into the Walker Kessler show. And one thing about it, so I've talked about this before. Everybody wants Kerwin to try and get the ball into Walker Kessler. Scotty Barnes is guarding him. Florida State's terrific defensively because they can switch all these screens. Well, Scotty Barnes is, 6'8", 6'9", 6'7". He can really make it difficult. Raekwon Gray is a beast. He's guarding Kerwin. Kerwin's worried about turning the ball over. He doesn't see Walker. Well, instead of Walker getting all frustrated because he thinks he's open, doesn't get the ball, he keeps working. And this is what the big guys do a great job of. And I know everybody's saying, get the ball inside, get the ball inside. It's so easy. Well, sometimes it's difficult. But our guys remain patient. Eventually, Kerwin pivots. Walker didn't get frustrated. They send guys at him. He pivots, dunks the ball. Terrific play. And we already showed this clip, but Walker does a nice job affecting that shot. Lee gets the ball, and it was Kendall Marshall-esque for the most part, other than it was a two-handed pass. Kendall would have thrown it one-handed from here, maybe bounced past it, but the good news is Walker ran. He challenged the shot, didn't leak out. He's running the court. They're all trying to get back, not knowing who's guarding who. We got our guys right here on the wings filling it, so they got to worry about them, and then Garrison's coming down the court as well. But Leakey does a nice job, sees him, dunks it. And I didn't say this, but the play before when Walker scored, 2 plays before that, he got dunked on. And he didn't worry about that for a second. He just ran back. He scored the possession after he got dunked on by Raekwon Gray, which was a heck of a dunk. And then he scored back-to-back buckets. Great night for the Heels. Great night for Coach Williams. I know he doesn't like awards and accolades and being talked about, but 900 wins is very hard to get to. But Adam said it and Jones said it earlier, it was a huge win for the Tar Heels and Coach Williams also.
CB, how can things be so different from half one to half two? I think you're getting there with about 3 minutes left in the first half and building off what happened on Wednesday night. You're thinking, holy cow here. And then it was so starkly different. How can things change that dramatically?
Well, it happened really quick in the second half, which I think was huge. If they would have had to battle for the 16 minutes to get it to like a 4-point game, where it's back and forth, well, all of a sudden, 3 minutes in the second half, we're within 4. And you can, they got inspired by that. And whether it was Florida State being a little lackadaisical, excited that they were up at half, or you don't know how everybody's going to react. And Florida State has had a terrific year, no doubt about it. But, they're coming in saying, well, they lost to Marquette. Maybe we get them down. They might roll over. But the Tar Heels cannot do that today.
CB, you spent a lot of time working with Carolina guards. Florida State, as you said, is a really good defensive team. But Caleb Love and R.J. Davis, 3 assists and 11 turnovers today. If they could do just one thing, if they could improve in one area to just be maybe more consistent, not fantastic, but just sort of down the middle, what would you like to see them do different?
Yeah, their turnovers are sort of different every game. It was today, RJ's were sort of ball handling where they came from behind where he didn't see the defense. Sometimes Caleb's are, trying to feed the post, just being a little impatient because he knows what Carolina wants is for him to get the ball in there. And so it's a little bit of everything, but we'd like them to obviously take better care of the ball. But in saying that, Florida State's a terrific team. They were scary good against Virginia a couple weeks ago. And if you would have said we were going to have 21 turnovers, shoot 39% from the field, 20% from 3, I would have said it's going to be hard to win that game. But they made it look pretty easy in the second half.
27 of 30 at the free throw line, certainly a big part of that as well. Carolina actually missed its first 2 free throws in the game and then went 27 of 28 the rest of the way, kind of matching what Florida State did and was a big part of the Seminole victory in Tallahassee where FSU was 26 of 27. CB, last thing before we get out of here, that is 900 wins for Coach Williams. You played for him, you worked next to him for a long time. What is it that has allowed him to do this faster than anybody else has ever done it, both in terms of games played and seasons coached?
I mean, a lot of things. I mean, he obviously works really hard. You know, he cares so much about the kids, the program that he is coaching at the time. It was Kansas for a long time. Now it's Carolina where he went to school. And obviously, you know, you can't dispute his love for this school. But very consistent. You know, every kid knows what they're going to get. Now, yes, he's more intense some days than not, but you know what you can expect from your head coach. And I think that's why he's been very successful, obviously, on the recruiting trail to get talent. He does a great job coaching talent. Not everybody can coach talent. He obviously, when he first started, didn't have that much talent and can coach those guys. He's just done a terrific job, you know, for a lot of different reasons, but I think those are the most important ones.
Adam, this is a big win. This is a big win for this version of Carolina basketball for sure.
That feels like the biggest win of the year. I think that's fair to say. Florida State's really good.
Yeah.
And Carolina could have folded at halftime. They didn't do it. Now, carry it over up to the Carrier Dome on Monday night.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Carolina can build off the momentum. It is a very quick turnaround. Carolina in Syracuse against the Orange, who badly needs a quality win. That game is at 7 o'clock. Radio-wise, we'll be on the air at 6 p.m. for that one. We do have one more Carolina Insider Rapid Reaction streaming show. That will be next weekend when Carolina hosts Duke here in the Smith Center, and we will have full post-game coverage of that one next weekend. But for tonight, hey, everybody's happy. All that has to happen is Tar Heels just need to beat a really good Florida State team after being down by 16 late in the first half. No big deal. 78-70 the final. Thanks so much for being with us here on the Carolina Insider.